remember to add your trust to your insurance policy. My name is Andrew Ayers. I'm an estate planning and business law attorney with offices in Edina, Minnesota and New York City. And today we're going to talk about one of those small steps you need to do after you create a trust. But it's a very important step. It's one of those pebbles that can turn into a mountain if you don't do it right. Now, if you've gone through the trouble of creating a trust, you've worked with your attorney, whether it's a revocable living trust, an irrevocable living trust, maybe it's a special needs trust, whatever kind of trust you've created, if you're putting real estate assets into that trust, it's very important that you make sure you update the insurance policies that go with that. Because, first of all, the first step most people miss is they forget to actually transfer that property into their trust. But second, the next biggest mistake they make is not doing the insurance piece. So on that first step, of course, if you've created a trust and we're transferring property into it, you don't just need to put the words in the trust. You actually have to go to your local property registrar and re-register your property with the deed into the name of the trust. Just creating a trust doesn't automatically make your house part of that trust. But then that second step that we're talking about today, make sure your insurance policies are updated. And what we do is we make sure we name your trust as the insured on these insurance policies. Now, this isn't something that you'll hear from a lot of your lawyers that you work with on trusts, because while we're working on creating the trust, getting all the documents together, and funding your trust, this may be something that your attorney doesn't necessarily think of. But if you talk to the right people, you talk to your professional insurance agents, they'll explain to you why it is so important. Because if the trust owns the house, the trust needs to be on your insurance policy. If not, the trust owns the house and you're on the insurance policy, you've created a big hole in the middle of your planning. You've left yourself with a lot of liability, because if somebody goes to sue you on the basis of the trust, the basis of the house that's owned by the trust, then you have the problem of the insurance policy is in your name, but the house is owned by the trust. And you may have defeated the whole purpose of getting your insurance policy. This is one of the reasons why I always suggest you work with professionals. Work with a professional insurance agent. I've had a few of them as clients over the years who tell me horror stories of working with people who didn't understand how to make sure to get their assets transferred into the right name for insurance purposes, and they're left with just a total headache as they try to deal with any issues that may arise down the road. And the insurance agent can't go back and help you after the fact. So if you forget to change it and then you get sued and your insurance can't cover you, you can't then go back to, I meant to put it in the name of my trust, I just never got around to it. The insurance company isn't going to do it, the court's not going to let you do it, and you could be stuck with a very expensive lawsuit. So you're probably wondering, what kind of insurance should you change? Well, there's three main types of insurance you want to check whenever you put an asset into a trust. The first is your home insurance. Make sure you've got this taken care of. If the trust owns your home, the insurance policy must be in the name of your trust. Second, umbrella policies. A lot of people have umbrella policies, and they're a great way to protect your assets above and beyond the value of your home. But you want to make sure that that umbrella policy is also in the name of your trust if the trust is the one that owns the home. And finally, your personal property insurance, number 3. Like any other type of insurance, if you have personal property insurance on the things in the house and the house is owned by the trust, we want to make sure that that insurance policy is updated to reflect the ownership by the trust. Now, this isn't something that's particularly complicated, but it's one of those little things that when you miss creates a mountain of problems. So if you've tried to do it yourself in the past, maybe you just thought, don't worry about it, my insurance is good, then maybe you're okay. But if you've recently created a trust, or even if you created a trust a while ago, now is a great time to check with your insurance agent to make sure that the insurance policy reflects the proper owner of these assets. If your house, if something else is owned by a trust and it has an insurance policy tied to it, make sure that insurance policy has been updated to reflect the ownership by the trust. If you have more questions and you want to talk further about either creating a trust or some of the issues that can be raised from these trusts, feel free to contact my office. You can go to andrewmayers.com. There's a red strategy session button on the front page. Click that and you're taken to my personal calendar. We'll set up a 15 or 20 minute legal strategy session to go through the different options for you and make sure that your insurance policies and your trusts are all properly drafted and that we have everything in place so that these little pebbles do not become a mountain of a problem.